Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 24, a rather late 24, of the Everything Motor Racing podcast. You are once again me. It's just me. Hello. Obviously, Declan. And public enemy number one, apparently, which I'll get into in a minute. And Jacob from Now Moto, as always.
Yep, and I've had a few barbs at me as well, so yeah, I'm feeling it. Love everybody.
But yeah, so we are back. We've spent all weekend at Silverstone. We'll say all weekend. Sunday, we were at Silverstone yesterday. This is obviously Monday recording now, which is why we have had a late podcast. But we've enjoyed it. We haven't been to MotoGP in a few years now, so it's been good fun.
Yeah. First time since 2018 when it got rained off for me, so
yeah, same here.
It was quite good actually. It's nice to just see certain things that I'll get onto that you just don't quite see on the telly, that in person stuff starts making a lot more sense.
Mm.
I didn't some of it I didn't realize at the time, but I've processed some of it now, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so Jacob was a bit sad just going for all the Moto3 rides to see if they had their little wheel hub covers on or not. So, first thing you did, literally the first thing you did.
Yeah.
He's got one on.
Yeah, but they all had one on, didn't they? Warm up, that was the thing.
Yeah, and then
I was more looking if someone didn't.
Yeah.
To be honest, because if they didn't, then you'd be thinking, what are you up to there?
Yeah. Well, Romano Fenati, he did run one in the race and nearly won. Well, no, he did win, sorry. But Antonelli didn't have one on.
Yeah, but that must have been the difference.
Yeah.
Let's go with that, shall we?
Yeah. And finally, we've got an Aprilia on the podium.
Told you so! Yeah, someone messaged Deck to say, when is he going to say I told you so? So here it is, I told you so.
Yeah, we obviously Jake has been banging about him all year. What was it you said? It's a podium bike, you said race winning bike, it just needs a rider to win a race on it.
Yeah, basically it is a podium bike, bare minimum. It just needs to actually get the podium. It was like a podium bike in waiting, wasn't it?
Well, it was a winning bike in waiting, you said. So.
Yep, I'd still back that statement, and I think it's been further proven now.
Well, now it's got Maverick Vinales testing on it tomorrow. So by the time this is out, they'll be testing today. He's obviously testing. He has actually, interestingly, the backfire of his little Yamaha escapade means he has lost Monster Energy sponsorship as well.
Yep, as you said to me, you could see it in the Instagram posts. Plain white helmet.
Yeah, thanks for saying what I was going to say.
But I credited you, leave me alone.
I did some detective work, and you can see in the background, very tight, like literally, it's the tiniest thing ever. There is a plain white helmet, or eye helmet. He's also wearing an Alpine Stars cap and not the Monster Energy cap. If you are interested in this kind of boring stuff, go on Instagram, type in Racing Gear 2022, give it a follow. That's my account where I basically talk about this boring stuff that people, for some reason, are interested in. So
yeah, and it's a good spot because we did wonder for the sponsor-wise would be, and we're already seeing the effect of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him go back into Red Bull, to be fair, because I always rated his little Red Bull helmets that he had. They're quite nice with his little aeroplanes that he had in, part of the design.
Yeah, and they always worked really well against the Pons yellow, didn't they?
Oof, yeah, because him and Salon both were obviously Red Bull athletes at the time, and they just looked beautiful.
Yeah, I think I don't think he'll match Aleix for a while.
No, he'll need a few races to get a hang of it, because isn't the Aprilia a V4 as well?
Yeah, it's going to be a big transfer.
Yeah, so he's got obviously that to learn, but he's never actually ridden a V4 in MotoGP, because he rode Suzuki, didn't have one, Yamaha didn't have one, so now he's got to learn the V4, but it could be what he needs,
Yeah, he's never ridden a V4 full stop, as far as I know. Because obviously Suzuki's road bikes were inline 4 and Yamaha's R1's inline 4.
Yep. And it'll be interesting to see, to be fair, because, I mean, we know now the Aprilia's a podium bike with Aleix Espargaro. It's not like a fluky podium either, It's not like 7 riders have crashed out ahead of you, here's a podium, or, the race has been cancelled to have a podium, George Russell. He earned that by merit, even on the last lap when Jack Miller overtook him. He took it back. He retook the position, you know, it wasn't like Jack's got him now. Okay, well, Aleix has got fourth. That's still really good. It's no, Aleix has gone and put everything on the line and beaten the Ducati on a straight.
But I was saying to you where we were watching that the Aprilia was so much better coming out to the corner onto the hangar straight.
Yeah.
And I said to you, I think he's going to have it back, and he did. So I'm glad Aleix listened.
Well, Aleix led onto the straight, didn't he? So
that's it. It's such a out accelerating the Ducati. That doesn't happen.
Madness. You know, it's because obviously Jack was already on the back foot because of the overtake, and he basically a few corners earlier had obviously overtaken and gone a little wide. So, but yeah, Aleix, just fair play to you, finally. But
one of the top 3 riders in the world and backing it up right now, like.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, I loved to see his celebrations. He did in his post race interview. He said he dedicated it to his wife, and then he jumped both the podium barriers, sprinted down pit lane when he clocked his kids, and gave them a massive hug, and you're like, oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, on the cool down lap, where we were stationed was just after the first corner, and then the little entry into Maggots and Beckett's, and you could see he was coming along, and you could see he was just crying his eyes out on his way down through.
Yeah,
and I was just, I gotta be honest, I was like, yes.
Yeah, just shows how much he means to him, and fair play to the man. He's worked so hard. He's had to put up with pretty crap bikes over the years. And he's never... yes, he has publicly gone, the bike isn't working as we should, cut bike isn't this. But he's never once spat his dummy out. He's never once kicked off, threatened to leave a team, publicly anyway. Threatened to leave a team, done all this. He's just put his head down, believed in the project, and has reaped the rewards from it,
Yeah, that's it. It's I think anybody could see what potential Aprilia had, but it takes more than having a good bike. You need good management as well, which, let's be real, they never had. Now they do. The bike itself is now a good bike, it is at the level it needs to be, and they've still got concessions because it's only their first podium.
Oh yeah, they do, don't they? Oh, it's looking a bit now.
Yeah, so that they can further build on that.
Yeah.
And obviously you need the rider, which I've always thought Aleix was the rider.
Yeah.
So now it could all come together. This could be a very dangerous second half of the year for Aprilia.
Oh, it could be fantastic.
Especially as next race we go to Aragon, which, as we know, it's a good hunting ground for Aprilia anyway.
Yeah, it is, yeah, because, it works quite well around.
Yeah, even
Aragon.
The older bikes, like the 19 and the 18, which, were clunkers everywhere else, but somehow at Aragon, he used to nick 6 places.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if he can carry this momentum. I'm sure he will. This is it now, 3rd place. And every rider that you see, they get that podium, and then they go on to do more. I remember in Moto2, Oliveira didn't win a race, and he won 1 race, and he won 3. So, it's always the way, once you find the way of how to do it, this is the way. You found the way. And
do you know the way?
Yeah.
2008 called him on the meme back.
Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah, so, really excited for him. Obviously, Vinales has been posting a load of teasers on his social medias. He's wearing his Top Gun suit as well, which looks quite cool. Loved that suit when he first used it a couple of years ago. Yeah, he did, yeah. Well, obviously. He did say that it was his first ever, his favourite suit from Alpinestars ever, so...
Yeah, and aside from that, I think he's hoping it'll bring him some luck.
Exactly. Oh, just want to butt in randomly with something else. 5 minutes ago, a statement about Brad Jones was made, and he's been medically discharged from the hospital.
Brad.
It says his recovery path, particularly in regards to neurological aspects, will be long, and he'll continue to receive intensive neurological and occupational rehabilitation therapy from home with private care.
Yeah, so that basically translates to his brain is still not correct, and he'll need to learn to do everything again.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's there and, he can build. I personally know people who've had brain injuries, and you're never the same person. I don't think he'll ever race again. But you can get some semblance of a normal life back with help. But he's going to have some support around him, isn't he? So
Yeah, it'd be
well
nice
done,
to
Brad.
see him. Nice to see him hop back on a bike if he does do it. Fair play to him. Fine, thank God. We're all so worried about him. So yeah, really happy about that from Brad Jones. Yeah, it is. Right, going on to the other big news. Thanks to Lynn Jarvis who broke the story. Basically, he has confirmed that Franco Morbidelli will race for the the factory Yamaha team at Misano. Sorry,
Close.
He's not going to be back for Aragon yet. Cal Crutchlow is expected to race the team in Aragon, and Andrea Dovizioso. They're in advanced talks with Yamaha for Misano and the rest of the season and next year with a factory supported bike. Yes. It's a seat, it's a factory Yamaha seat, He's ridden a Yamaha before in a satellite bike, so we'll be going back to satellite. But we get Dovi back on the grid. But in the same way, as much as I'm like, yeah, Dovi, woo, like, come on, man. Like, why aren't they giving it to a younger rider?
Yeah, like, if personally speaking, especially after this weekend, which, well, we'll get on to it a bit, how they have not given it to Eagle Lecona is beyond me.
The Corona is literally, he gained, I think it was I think he started in like 18th or something, finished 7th. What a ride by the 21-year-old, Fair play to him, and he's proven again that he deserves this seat. That's his best ever dry race position. And both KTMs did really well. Brad Binder, obviously, as well, gained a lot of places during the race. But he's proven he deserves a seat. And it's sad that Dovizioso's coming back. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm really happy for Dovizioso, and it's nice to see him back on the grid. He's a great personality, a great guy. But he's getting old anyway, Like, maybe, yeah, he's got 2 more years, but
I suspect it's more of a guide of rookie. Because we all pretty much know that it's going to be Darren Binder on the other bike, isn't it?
No, it's not, because he's done that test with the Petronas team, obviously at Bernot on the R1, and by all accounts, it didn't go very well.
I still don't think that's going to put them off.
Well, if he can't ride an R1 very well, he's not going to ride an M1 very well, is he?
Not necessarily. It's they are two very, very different machines.
Well,
I think they're going to take the punt, and I think that's one of the main reasons Dovi's in, is to guide him.
I think genuinely because the test didn't go too well, I think they'll push him to Moto2, but I can't see them taking him MotoGP because you're not going to take a rider who can't ride the bike derived from the MotoGP bike very well. And Dixon's proven he's done really well, so...
Yeah, Dixon has definitely thrown a hat in the ring.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. And Javi Vierge has opted out of riding the bike at Aragon.
I've been confusing myself all day with it, because on one hand, I get it. Like, he's still battling for a very good place in the Moto2 World Championship and showing, Intact are going to want to see him do well on Moto2s if they want him back.
Yeah.
Going up there, potentially not getting anything in the MotoGP race, well, probably wouldn't, let's be honest. Why would you risk yourself, But on the other hand, you may never ever get a chance to ride a MotoGP bike again.
Exactly.
You don't look a gift horse in the mouth and turn it down for me.
No.
Like, I'm off and off because I get it. But it's like, I don't get it at the same time.
Yeah, like if most riders would give their arm to, race a MotoGP bike and get that opportunity, and it could genuinely be his only ever opportunity, but in the same way, if he wants to battle and it not damage his season for next year, his chances for next year, then I understand that as well, but this is like the second time he's basically pushed himself out of a MotoGP chance ride, so...
Yeah, is it showing a lack of ambition?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like,
it could be,
that's
yeah.
What it feels like.
It's just a bit strange.
Yeah, as I say, I sort of get it because this is his livelihood on the line, and if he wants to go back to Intact and he can suddenly step up and perform again, grab a second podium of the year at Aragon on a Moto2 bike, suddenly it'll all be worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because Dixon and Vieja are linked to Intact. Because, funny enough, we said in the last podcast that Schrotter will never leave Intact, and then it was weird, actually. Some rumours came out and said, like, nah. Well, no, some rumours came out and said he's leaving the team at the end of the year. Then others came out the other day and said that he's going to sign with the team for next year. So, no idea about Marcel Schrotter at the moment.
Well, we know there's going to be one seat available.
Yeah, because Arbolino is going to go to the VDS. So
yeah, so it's a big decision to make, and if you can prove yourself in Moto2 and give yourself the edge over Dixon, who's was fantastic on the MotoGP bike, but is then not proving it in Moto2, suddenly you're in driving seat there.
Yeah, you are, and Dixon did really well. He had some issues with the tyres during the race, which did hamper him and slow him down because he said he could have done a better result. Then Jarvis has said if he does well, they'll give him another go. So maybe he'll be on this bike again at Aragon.
Yeah, well, he will, won't he? Like, who else are they going to put on it at this point? And better than Dovi.
Yeah, exactly. For Aragon as well, it's just one race, so they could put anyone on it. Put Garrett Gerloff on it so that Rossi could beat him and finally complete the 175.
Yeah, the shock when he was when he found out it was Gerloff.
Yeah,
it was like, what?
Yeah, so if you don't realise, basically Rossi has raced in the Premier Class against 175 riders, has beaten 174 of them, with Gerloff being the rider Rossi hasn't beaten.
Well, it's 176 now after this weekend, isn't it?
It is,
Dixon, but...
Yeah, so it's 176. He's raced against 175 he's beaten, which is crazy. So that means, imagine Rossi retiring and Gerloff being like, Garrett Gerloff, the only man Valentino Rossi hasn't beaten.
Gerloff goat.
Yeah, to be fair, that is a staggering stat.
Yeah,
he only did one race, fair enough, and Rossi crashed out the race, fair enough, but that is a staggering stat that Gerloff can tell his grandkids and be like, I'm the only man Valentino Rossi didn't beat.
Yeah, quite literally, the only man.
Literally, obviously he'll beat him in the championship, but
yeah,
that's
nuts.
Yeah, mental.
Obviously, Dovi returning, Frankie going up to the factory bike. I hope Frankie gets the focus and support because Fabio is doing so well.
Well, it's mad, really. I think Yamaha have got a whole Honda situation of the eggs in basket at the moment because Fabio won the race, and then second to last, and third to last were all Yamahas as well.
Yeah, I do think there's a caveat in there of two of them were not their full-time riders.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, something isn't working with the Yamaha and Ria Grip. So it's starting to think Fabio is actually a bit of an alien.
Yeah, I was just about to take the words out of your mouth there. Yeah, he's just, I don't know, Fabio is Fabio. He's just a spectacular rider. He's well-rounded in every area. He's if anything, he's a fan's favourite as well. He's the guy who'll take over Rossi's thing, Everybody loves Fabio. I say everybody. I've seen somebody earlier going that they hate Fabio. You can't please everyone at the end of the day, but the fans went mental for him. Obviously they went more mental for Rossi, but when Fabio appeared and won the race and was cheering, they went crazy for him.
Yeah, he's the age of the throne now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you want to know how you can tell he's getting closer to the championship? People are starting to slate him now and say, "Oh, Michelin are making tyres just for him. Daughter just doing stuff like that for him." You can tell he's starting to actually win the championship, and now he's going to start to get hated because he's successful.
People just hate success. People hate to see other people living their dreams.
Everybody loved Aleix getting this podium. I guarantee if he started getting regular ones and started competing for the championship, people would start to hate him.
It'd be, you've only got it because of your concessions.
It's just, there's the life lesson of today. Don't be a bitter prick.
But it's interesting. It will be. I'm just still focused on the Maverick Vinales thing. I'm just so intrigued to see how he gets on. I want him to do really well, genuinely. And, I wish the best for him. I hope that Aprilia offer him the area and the support, and the man at the other side of the garage will help him tremendously.
Yes, the family environment of Aleix, because as we've said many times, Aleix is all about family.
His family.
Yeah, he's Dominic Toretto of MotoGP, and family, but it will really benefit Maverick because he needs that arm around him. He needs Maverick needs to be cutched up and say, "Oh look, but come on now, there's a good boy."
Patted on the head.
And that's not a bad thing. Some people are wired differently to others. Some like to be pushed. I don't think Maverick's one of them. I think Maverick is one who needs coddling.
Mm.
And if it works for him and he gets him a title, do it. Catch him every day of the week, pat him on the head every hour.
Yeah, different riders work in different ways at the end of the day. So it's
different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. One rider may like to work by himself. Like Fabio is more of a he enjoys everybody around him, but I think he strikes me as a bit more introverted.
Yeah.
In himself.
That's why he gets Tom to do a lot for him, yeah.
Yeah, he'll hang around with Tom, but I can guarantee he likes being by himself at home quite a lot. And, go out to restaurants, spend time with his girlfriend that was revealed on Instagram, if you didn't see. But, for the most time, he's very private about his private life anyway. But, he's just, I think he strikes me as quite introverted. On the podium and stuff, he's very yeah, woo, and he'll see a footballer and whatever. But I genuinely see him quite introverted, so he doesn't maybe need as much help, or just go to Tom and go, oh, can you give me a pick me up or whatever, and they'll have a McDonald's, have a Big Mac or something like that, and
he'll give me a pick me up. That means that's literally drug talk. Come on now, Dick.
Is it?
I need a pick me up, mate. A couple of pills,
Well, sorry, I'm not a pillhead like you.
Well, disclaimer, I crush it up.
Crush it up and snort it. Sorry, Iannone. Oh no, right, that's injection, I think.
No, yeah, he was riding when he. So it comes through meat apparently. So
he's eating it.
I've been discussing Aprilia with a man who is very much not enjoying this Aprilia podium, and I said to him a rider of Iannone's quality could barely match Aleix on that Aprilia when they were teammates, equal machinery.
Yeah.
I think Maverick's going to be the same. I think, you get the odd result here and there, but I think overall, I don't think he'll match Aleix.
See, I think he'll jump to it like a duck to water, personally. So.
I'm hoping so, because he needs something to revive. If this doesn't work, he's fucked.
May as well just go home, our point.
Yeah, he is, there's no other way to put it. If this doesn't work, he is royally fucked. He's up the creek without a paddle. So he needs this to work, and that's pressure. So it'll be very interesting to see if that motivates him or, shells him out.
Well, the thing is, as well, Maverick's now got a family as well. So
family.
Maybe the Aprilia family vibes and the Aleix family vibes and all that will... Because Maverick Vinales, when he's in a good headspace, is a freaking demon, man. You do not want to be anywhere near him, because he will win races, and he will do it by getting to the front and gapping everyone like Jorge Lorenzo used to do. Same with Fabio's now doing, So once Maverick Vinales needs everything to line up. If it's even 99% out, he'll get a second or a third, like we saw at Aston, because it was only, say, 99%. And there was stuff niggling on his mind, clearly. Whereas when he's 100% mentally, physically, all of that malarkey, bomb. Yeah, like a guitar. He arrived at guitar incredibly mentally strong and won it straight out the gate.
On a Yamaha at a guitar. That's... No, not even Fabio could do that.
Yeah, it's unheard of. Well, it's not really unheard of because Lorenzo did it, but that's Lorenzo.
Yeah,
and Rossi. And Rossi did
it. It seems to be a very certain Yamaha way right now of it has been since Jorge, in that you get out front, you set the consistent laps, because every single lap Fabio did, barring the opener, was in the 2 minutes.
Dead.
Yeah, in the 2 minute barrier. I was looking at the, obviously we had the screens at Silverstone, and you were looking at it, and you just thought to yourself, shit.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. Wow. That is bloody impressive. if you can do that, you deserve the win.
Yeah, like it's just spectacular from him, to be fair, and
Every lap it was just slightly more, but he was consistently doing it, and you just can't live with that.
No, you can't. You can't keep up with him as well because you will literally crash. And he did it without slipstream as well, which is really impressive. He just
terrifying.
Yeah, it's just Fabio, isn't it? I think now 65-point championship lead. It's his. It's good as his now.
Pecco's conceded it.
Yeah, Pecco. Oh, I'm gutted for Pecco, man.
Yeah, I thought all the way through the race that he'd gone wrong with the front tyre because it went soft, but turns out it's the rear.
Yeah, rear tyre screwed him over. He's been screwed over by tyres quite a lot this year, to be fair.
Is it him, though? Like, at this point, like as I keep saying about John McPhee, more than once is not... There's a pattern. Is it him?
I don't think so.
Is it something he's doing?
Because they'll have had to look at the data and all that, and he even said today, it was way out of his control. So,
but like, if something keeps happening, like there's a pattern. There must be something in it because, like, I'm starting to think: is Fabio warming the tires up correctly? Is he doing something different on his out laps, like going to the grid or something? Something tiny like that, but minute details make a hell of a difference in MotoGP.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I don't know for that one. I can only say that from what Pecco has said that he it was the tires. So I'm just gonna sit on the fence and believe Pecco.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one, as we saw. Rossi as well started. It was a really strong start, and then
7th at one point
backwards.
Yeah, it's a strange one with Rossi. I mean,
rear creep again, and you're just thinking, it's the same old now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just sad to see him drop back like that from doing so well, but yeah, it's his last years anyway. I don't think he cares too much anymore.
Yeah, that's it. Like, he doesn't give a shit now, does he? Like, with respect to him, like, would you he's 42 years old, got a kid on the way. Would you go out and risk your neck on a little handling bike? I wouldn't.
No, I'd just be like, yeah, I'll just take. As long as you take the checkered flag at the end of the race and you've not done too badly, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say he didn't do too badly because he did, but I mean, what option did he have? Is that or stack it? And I know where I prefer.
Yeah, well, he didn't do too badly. Like, yeah, he did badly, but it wasn't like lapped badly, So
yeah, it was still quite sad to see people Rossi fans cheering the Marquez crash.
Well, I wouldn't put it down to just Rossi fans, but there was definitely fans at the stadium.
Was a big cheer when Marquez went down.
Yeah,
and then when they realised he'd taken out another rider, then it turned to
I mean, there were a lot of people clapping.
I thought we were past that.
Yeah, there were a lot of people cheering like, oh yeah, finally, or he's always doing that, and like good and all that, which isn't good, but...
Yeah, I thought we were past it, to be honest, but here we are, still the same.
People will never change or forget. I think it'd be the same if Rossi crashed, though. People would be like, yes, and cheer that as well, so it's just the way of the words at the moment these
quite
days.
Disappointing.
It's disappointing for the sport, and as fans of the sport, it's disappointing that people think that riders crashing is acceptable to cheer at. If a rider's crashed and they're getting up after a bad crash, then yeah, fair enough, cheer away,
Well,
as a yes, like, well done, thank God you're okay, we'll cheer for that or clap for that. But as a yes, you've crashed, nah mate, this is unacceptable. Moving on to Moto3, we obviously saw a crazy race. I rewatched it this morning. It was very interesting, very good. Congrats to Romano Fenati, who pretty much dominated all weekend long. Set a new lap record, which was close to the old Moto2 lap record, which is quite insane to think about. It was a 2:10. If he had managed to sort his qualifying out, he could have even done a 2:09, which would have been freaking mental. Like, he was within a second of the old lap record, which is pretty mental. Our predictions have fallen pretty flat because we both went Garcia and Acosta, and both of them didn't get out of Q2, and both of them, well, no, Acosta scraped points, Garcia finished 16th, so they didn't get any points at all. But yeah, so Jacob went Garcia, Acosta, Guevara, who was incredibly close to his first podium. You had that hunch, and I went for Acosta, Garcia, and Denizonsu, who he had a decent race, but it wasn't. I wouldn't be like woo about it, you know.
Yeah, he didn't light the world on fire, did he? I will preface all of this discussion now by saying I haven't actually watched the races back yet myself. Right. So this is just from memory of what I saw.
Yeah,
so what I do remember is Izan Guevara. He's a fucking legend.
Yeah, he was a beast on the last lap. He cut past what's his name, Foggia, quite early on, and then kept it close. But Foggia was too good. Rounded out that all-Italian podium.
It's coming Rome.
Yeah, and he even said afterwards, he's like to Neil Morrison, he's like, it's coming Rome. Yeah, he's like, of course that's happened on British soil, you know.
Yeah, that's twice now that the Italians have absolutely fucking tuned you. I love it.
Yeah, it's quite funny actually, and but I was gutted actually because Mignot broke down early in the race,
right in front of us. Yeah,
right in front of us. Yeah, and it's quite sad. I saw his caption earlier about Fanati, him and Antonelli all battle him.
Yes.
And it felt like he said he felt like he was a kid again when they used to race together in like flat tracks and small bikes.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking, wasn't it? Like,
I was
just so gutted for him. One thing I will say, it was very interesting to see, like, just the afterwards, the aftermath of Mio walking off, because they show him walking out the gravel, but then they don't show anything else. Like, it was very interesting to see, like, just Mino just sitting and taking it in and like trying to learn something. You could see he was cheering on Ferrari and Antonelli. He was really, I think he genuinely just enjoyed it. Like,
yeah,
like he can doing it.
It's just interesting, yeah, to just see him like sitting there down, like pretty glum, and then get on the back of the bike that the marshals brought around and ride off into the sunset, and his bike just sit there.
He did give everybody a
recovery van.
yeah, a little LDV van just turns up, goes on the grass, and then nearly stacks it. It was hilarious.
And picks up this bike that was just parked at the side of the track, like Mark's when it was parked at the side of the track after his crash. But yeah, it's interesting to see.
I would accidentally take the wrong turn out of the circuit if I had one of them in the back.
No, yeah, same. Oh, whoops. Which way am I going now?
But like, it would have been an all-Italian top four if Mino hadn't exploded, I'd imagine, because they had a good gap in top three.
Yeah, they did, yeah, and then
it's good to see Antonelli back up there, especially after his injuries. Yeah.
Fair play to him. I think he's missed the last 3 races and then bang, straight back.
Yeah, it's last 2, yeah. Both he missed out on both Austria races. He had to pass a fitness test here this weekend.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And then the podiums. Like, well done, Nelly.
Yeah, he's passed a fitness test just like Yari Montoya.
Wow.
We'll get onto that. We'll get onto that one.
Yes. Yeah, that's a one for Moto2 for sure.
Yes, but
it was some really good rides. I was impressed with Riccardo Rossi.
Yes, Ricky. He won't be listening to this, but I'm like Riccardo Rossi's like #1 fan. So
even though you were stuck in for Nepa once, but I'll let you off.
Yeah, well, I like Nepa as well. I do like Nepa as well. He's underrated.
Yeah, Rossi. It was nice to see Rossi actually rip the start and not fall down the order like he normally does.
Like he did finish 9th at the end, but
that's not much better than he usually does. That was a very, very solid ride. I was like him and Onshu. They it was like someone stuck a bar between them where neither could break or like away or get closer.
Yeah,
they were so constant the entire race. It was actually really interesting to watch because it was bang on the same, like barring a couple of tenths every lap for the entire race. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, fair play,
and obviously really impressed with Guevara.
Yeah, Guevara was just an absolute hero today. Yeah, yesterday, Sunday.
Foggia did well. Like we shouldn't dismiss the fact that
100% podium record again.
Either podium or out of the points. Like I thought the streak might have been broken, and then
Minio's bike win.
Yeah,
that's fate. That's what it is. It's just fate.
It's going to carry on. It's going to be one of those really weird stats that you talk about years later.
Yeah, it's like, oh, do you remember James Foggia did that?
Yeah, do you remember that Foggia guy? You know, the one whose dad was a cock at Leopard. Yeah, him. He just podiumed, though he didn't get points. Yeah.
Like,
what's he doing now? Oh, he's Oh, he's just sitting at home by the look of it.
He's been a model because he's got sick eyebrows.
Oh,
His
yeah.
eyebrows can cut holes in your forehead, I swear to God.
Yeah, they are.
They're sharp. And his beard, it's like perfectly like...
Yeah, he definitely likes himself a bit. He's
He's,
like Ian Oney with the fucking roids, isn't he?
he's got a better beard than me, though, because mine's bloody patchy. How is he younger than me? He's got a better beard than me. Not happy, mate.
He's Italian. You get it when you're Italian at 7 years old.
Yeah, Italians just blessed with good looks, charm, and they're fast on motorbikes, apparently.
And hairy children.
Yeah. What?
You get a beard when you're Italian at like 7 or 8, genuinely.
Yeah,
if you're like the olive skinned one.
That'd be pretty sick. They'd be the coolest kid in freaking school.
One thing I did want to say as well, I want to shout at John McPhee.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, are you feeling alright?
Once again, he was, in the wrong place. Again, we all know how I feel about that. But the recovery to get to 10th.
Oh, yeah.
That was spectacular. And I was very, very impressed with him.
From
well
back
done,
of the
McPhee.
grid to that. Yeah, to the front of his group.
At dead last.
I
I
don't
think
know where
he
he
was
finished, though, but...
10th.
No, it wasn't, because Tatai finished 10th.
That was Tata, was it?
Yeah, Tatai was 10th, mate.
He was near the front of that. I know he got points.
He'd be like 11th, maybe, I think.
But he took, to even get points after being dead last.
Yeah,
Credit where credit's due. That was a great ride.
Yeah.
If he hadn't, stuck himself in the usual spot and got nudged out again, then it could have been so much better because he clearly had pace.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that he couldn't, but it was good. And obviously, some news as well. Gabriel Rodrigo stepping up to Moto2 next year with the SAG team, which is a bit of a surprise, to be fair.
Yeah, that what was hilarious was we sat down, pulled our chairs out of Vale, ready for warm up, sit down. No sooner did we sat down than the Gabri news comes through, and we both nearly fell off our chair.
Yeah, we're like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was mental. Like,
yeah,
I think he's going to go the other way to what most people think, and I think Moto2 is going to smooth him out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because he's now going to have enough power at his disposal to ride how he wants. He's trying to ride a Moto3 almost like a Moto2 bike with too much power, and you can't do it on a Moto3 because you will. It's still enough of a race machine to high side you.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's going to have enough power at his disposal. I think he's going to actually surprise quite a few people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, 100%. And John Murphy was 12th, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, points like that.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, that's still very reasonable.
Yeah, and obviously I want to give a little shout out to Carlos Tatai as well. He's returned from injury.
Yeah, it's on 10th place. Is this
really
the
solid
upturn?
result.
Because we know how good he is. You don't win the rookies by being a mug.
No, I'm sad he's taken this long to kind of come into his own because he was second in the Chev as well. You can't forget that. No, he's bloody fast. He is.
He does have the security of knowing he's re-signed with Avintia next year. So there is that. So if now he just suddenly, the touch paper's lit, who knows what could happen?
Yeah, he's genuinely a really good rider. It's just it had some bad luck.
For one reason or another, it hasn't worked out for him. I don't think his mind's been right either because he's looked very down. And when you're down, you don't go fast.
But good race. I'm probably forgetting something major here, though.
Yeah, I was just quite disappointed we didn't get to see the GOAT Andy Farid, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. The man, the myth, the legend, the 24-year-old rookie.
But I do want to touch on that in that I think it is ridiculous that he couldn't get in just because he was from Indonesia.
Well, it's something to do with the COVID thing. It's the same with Dimazeki. He couldn't get in to Europe because of it.
I think it's just ridiculous. Like, you either got to let everyone in or none. Like, I'm not going to get too much into the politics of it, but this is his job. He's here to work at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's not like he's just denying him.
Denying him access is a bit ridiculous for me. He should have.
It's all right, Jacob. Well, we can't have the Indonesians coming into Europe for whatever reason, but it's fine to send influencers to Bali. That's fine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I thought it was quite out of order that they denied him access, to be honest, because if he was coming here just to see London, fair.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. He was here to work. This is his job. Yeah. He's paid to do this job.
Yep.
It's joke.
Right, moving on to Moto 2. We'll start with the bombshell that we all saw that Yari Montoya has been booted for 2 rounds of Silverstone and Aragon.
For 2 rounds, he says.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see him back.
No, unfortunately. It's cruel.
Cruel. He's a rookie, mate. He's done 6 races.
Yeah, he needs a seat. Like, if Luca Boscoscaro is going to be doing shit like that, get him another seat, because that is out of order.
Yeah, that's bang out of order, because at the end of the day, like, he smashed the competition last year in the Chev Moto 2. The gap between Chev Moto 2 and World Championship is massive, as we've seen from many riders over the years. But, you know, he's still very good. You know, he's just needs some time to adjust. Most of the tracks he's been to, he's never seen before. 2 races at Doha, never been there. I think the only track he knew was Mugello. I don't even think... No, he didn't even race Mugello, I think, because he did...
No, he was injured.
Was injured.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's, you know,
he's only known Portimao.
And it was a nothing crash. That's the worst bit. It was, honestly, it spoiled my piss and made me feel really weird, because we all know I'm a big fan of Aldeguer.
Yeah.
I wanted him to see again an opportunity, but not this way.
No way, not like this.
Like,
no.
I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted the opportunity this way either.
Nah, you know, he did well. You know, he qualified in 9. He finished the warm-up in like 8th or 9th, qualified. Can't remember where he qualified, but he finished the race in 16th. Really strong race by him.
He should have been better. He made a mistake on the first lap and fell right back.
Yeah, he did.
Lost touch.
You know.
But
so he had a strong race, but
the reality is he shouldn't have been on that bike.
No, and like Yari basically was booted for 2 races because the team were unsure about his fitness or something because of his injury. It's like he's been signed fit by the medical doctors.
Yeah,
you know, so he's going to take it to court because they're not honouring his contract.
Quite fairly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, this is unacceptable from Boscoscaro. Like, on the whole, you know, he's conducts himself fairly well. But right now, he's just looking like a cock.
Yeah, it's not nice, not nice. But moving on to the race, we saw Remy Gardner take another race victory. Our predictions, to not skip on those. Jacob went with Augusto Fernandez, Sam Lowes, and Ralph Fernandez, who crashed.
0 for 3, oh boy.
Ooh, I got 2 out of 3. I'm quite impressed with that.
Nice. I was going to go Remy, but I went Raul instead. Oops.
Yeah, I went Remy Bazecchi and Lorenzo Dalla Porta, who didn't race because he was injured.
Does that negate the 2?
Technically, because he didn't race, I got 2 out of 2. That counts.
Yeah, nah. Sorry about that.
Yeah? Mate, he didn't race.
But the reality of these things is, if you'd said Jorge Navarro, you're a fucking nutter.
Yeah.
But suddenly a new front tyre comes in that makes him feel like a 2018 front tyre, and suddenly he's right up there. That's all it takes. You know what I mean? It's just a confidence thing, and this proves it.
Yeah. Mental, isn't
it? It's a joke, like, really, that, you know, he's been trying so hard. And it's all he took was a tyre.
Absolutely mad. But he's done really well, Navarro. I was quite impressed with him all weekend long. He was at the top. Yeah. Timesheet.
Yeah, he was, and deserved as well. Like, we know he likes this place. He was good last time we raced here.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he's been having a torrid season. He's seen so much tarmac. You'd think he was like working on the roads.
He's got like shares in it.
Yeah. And it's like, so, like, we all know he's quick. But for God's sake, man, like, he was been on the cusp of losing his job.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, bang, the 2018-2019 tyre comes back in, confidence goes sky high, and he gets a podium. Like, is this the springboard? Like, is this going to be the other riders who were struggling, who were really good on the previous tyre?
Well, there's one more in there, Lorenzo Baldassari.
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering. He obviously didn't do well, I think, but of course the caveat is that he's on the MV now.
Yeah, which isn't very good.
No, unfortunately, it's not. I think
well,
I've
heard that they're going to pull out.
Yeah,
I've heard that MV are pulling out.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's not worked.
No.
Like, suddenly, they lost their best rider, Manzi, because of course he was near him, but not quite there. And Balder, a proven Moto2 rider, can't make it work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to think that maybe it's just not meant to be with that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. If he can make it work with our front tyre, then great. Maybe they'll convince him to say, because we don't want to lose any teams,
No,
much less
not.
another chassis, because it's a Kalex competition at the minute anyway, with the odd speed up.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And we don't want to lose another chassis, because if MV go and then NTS decide to pull out, it's basically two chassis.
2 horse race at this point.
Yeah.
There's a reason why KX have won 100% of the title since Marc Marquez won.
And it's because they put the most in and got the most out.
Yep. And that's why they're dominating the field.
Yeah, it was a good race, though.
Yeah, very good. Sad that Sam Lowes didn't get that British victory he's been chasing, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, I was speculating whether he had the pace or whether he was clinging on, and I think it turned out that he was clinging on.
Yeah, he was, yeah. And Bezzecchi and bloody Remy were like going all out, weren't they?
Yeah, Bez was excellent in the first half of the lap, but in the complex, Remy was literally able to take 3-4 tenths out of him every single lap, and that ultimately you can't win with if someone's able to do that to you.
Nope. Yeah, because he was like Remy was just Remy. Remy's unstoppable this year, pretty much. Like Raul was close, but then Raul stacked it in a horrible manner.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, it wasn't a nice crash. Really wasn't nice.
Yeah, I was speaking of crashes, I was gutted. Manzi was on a good run. We know I'm a Manzo fan, and he crashed as well.
Yeah,
but
that's Manzi.
Like I said, it's disappointing, but not really a surprise.
No,
but, he was running 8th when he crashed. It's like if the pace is there, that's good. Like,
yeah,
it was sad to see Aaron Canet not able to compete.
Why did he not even race?
No, as in like you expect Canet to be closer,
Yeah, because he set a lap record. The lap record's his.
Yeah, that's it. And then he went off the boil in the race. It was really surprising. I expect him to be much closer.
I know, but actually he's now got the all-time lap record. Oh yeah, of course, of his ridiculous qualifying time.
but the fact that he took it at one point.
Yeah, and he was
really had some form of pace around there, and then he didn't feature in the race. It was surprising.
Yeah, it was, to be fair. But yeah, it's just a bit sad to see.
Some other notable rides was I was quite impressed with Albert Arenas as well.
Yeah, he was doing really well, to be fair. We're keeping an eye on him throughout the race, and he was really impressive.
And Ayagura, I thought, was good. He's
9th, yeah.
Struggled a little bit more this year.
Yeah, because he qualified really low down, I believe.
Yeah, so this isn't an Austria. Like, suddenly
he qualified
it's a lot
14th,
more of a challenge. And the rookies showed that they were rookies, like a Hugh.
Yeah, it really did, throw him off.
Yeah, but, Silverstone is a challenge. And I thought Agura was very impressive. Like, Agura was excellent in Austria. Vietti was excellent in Austria. And they were both nowhere in quali.
Yeah.
It bit Raul. Arbolino was nowhere. Bobia crashed out. The rookies really, really had a bad day.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest for the rookies in the class, but that's why they're a rookie. At the end of the day, they got some extra leeway in Moto2, and it's a very difficult championship. Ralph Fernandez did do well to get where he was, but then obviously did stack it, which I was quite sad about because he's doing all right. And unfortunately, these 2 crashes that he's had this year are probably the reasons he won't get the title this year. But to beat Remy Gardner in this kind of form, you're doing well.
The thing is, his crashes, Gardner's fully capitalised. And perfect 50.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Both of them, yeah. So that championship is opened right up again.
Well, I think it's done. I can't see Remy losing it now, especially not with the IO influence. Like,
thing is, though,
he's going to be, he's going to be level now.
Yeah, the thing is with racing, though, you can never know until the end. Like, God forbid, I want to put this on a thing, like, Remy could get injured at Aragon and miss 3 races, and suddenly, bang, it's straight back in the anyone's game,
Yeah, it is true. I can't see it, just simply because Remy's had 1 crash all year.
Yeah, he does do a lot of MX, though. Yeah. I don't want to jinx it. Like, I don't want anyone to
I know what you mean. Like, it ain't over till the fat lady sings at the end of the day. But much like in MotoGP, I think there's one hand on the trophy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of MotoGP, obviously Fabio is. I'll go into our predictions first, actually, but Fabio is just on fire at the moment, absolutely killing it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a champion-elect, now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so you went with Jorge Martin, who crashed, Fabio and Oliveira, who had a terrible weekend.
Yeah, that was a mistake. He's still not fully fit, Oliveira.
No, and I went with Marc Marquez, who crashed, Fabio and Pecco. So obviously the main talking point. You what?
Pecco had a stinker. Well, he finished 14th in the end?
Yeah, he did, 14th, yeah. Quite sad for him, to be fair, because he had pace, but again, this bloody tyre.
Yeah, it's the...
Bloody tyre.
So it's a one thing to do it in a quali, though, and it's another thing entirely to string a race together, and...
Yeah.
Something's gone wrong with him in the race. And
it was his tyre, he said himself.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is something setup wise? Is it?
Oh yeah. It's like it's something that's out of his control, basically.
It is a kick in the plums.
Yeah,
because it gotta be an absolute kick in the nuts to be able to qualify so well, and then get dicked in the race time after time, like.
Bloody Michelin. I'll be like firing complaints and then fires him.
I said to you on the way out, didn't I? I'm hoping he's not going to be another Julian Simon and just be the perennial second place man.
Yeah,
Moto2, like.
We want him to get that race win. He deserves it.
100%. He's worked very hard. He's a world champion.
Yeah.
He's had to fight through some really tough times at Pramac to get where he is, and yeah, I'd love to see Pecco take a race win, validate everything.
Exactly, yeah. It's just a shame. Moving on to the main incident. Marc Marquez is crash knocking off Jorge Martin.
Now, me and you did have very different views about this.
Yes, we do indeed.
I still believe, it's like, I'd say it's a 70-30 split on Mark's thing. Like, Mark was correct to apologise. He needs to take the bulk of the blame. However, Martin had run extremely wide on a chicane and then just smashed straight back onto the racing line where Mark saw a gap.
Yeah.
Like that was the miscalculation of not expecting Martin to go back on the racing line. And he should have used his 8 titles of experience to realise that Martin was a rookie and perhaps wouldn't be thinking the same way.
Yeah, and I think genuinely, like, from Marquez, like you just said, he's got 8 titles worth of experience. You should know by now that if a rider has gone off their line like that, they're going to come back at you, and they're going to come back at you with force. You know, these guys are racing. Yes, Marc Marquez isn't going to slow down just because there's a rider gone wide. You know, you're going to take that position, but to think... He's got to be pretty naive to think that Jorge Martin isn't going to try that. And it was a pretty desperate lunge because Mark knew he had the pace, wanted to chase up the pole. Martin had just overtaken him. Marquez wanted the cutback, but the cutback he would have never survived that anyway, I don't think, because he pretty much just lost the front instantly. And it was just a stupid, desperate move by Marquez. You know, I don't want to sit here and be like Marc Marquez's hater because that's not who I'm about. Like, but it was just
we're allowed to criticize a silly move if we see it as that.
Yeah, like, it was just absurd.
I'm more on the side of I see why he made it.
Oh, I can see why. You went for the gap at the end of the day.
But what I mean is, like, I can see why he thought there would be a gap.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there wasn't.
Yeah.
Like at the same time, though, Martin is a rookie who hasn't battled with Mark yet. He doesn't know his ways. It brings me on to my next point about Mark, actually, was I noticed since I last went to Silverstone, in MotoGP, the line changes were unbelievable. Like, it wasn't massive, but everybody's where I last saw them was taking completely different lines on a lot of the track. Mark was still taking the lines I saw him take last time I see him ride. And now I'm starting to wonder is if he having a lot of crashes because he's still on his lines where the game's moved on and everybody else is having different crashes. And he's not quite expecting someone to be there. He's expecting it to be on the older lines because he missed a good year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but
A
they
good
didn't race
year.
here last time, did they? In 2018.
Yeah, but like, I mean, in general,
2020.
like what I mean is like, it seems to be a thing of the tires are moving on, bikes are moving on, being ridden differently in different ways. He never had that year to see the development of these tires, of these bikes in person.
Yeah, because he did say they were quite different when he came back.
Yeah, and I'm starting to wonder is if he having those crashes because he's not expecting somebody to be on the line that they're on and he needs to adjust still, because it's a perfectly reasonable thing to be taken out, like not taken out, like to be unexpected of something that you've not seen in person for over a year.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to wonder, is this the issue? Not that the old Mark, is not ever going to return. I'm wondering if he just needs to adjust to 2021's MotoGP.
You'd think by now, though, he's been racing since Portimao. I think by now, I think genuinely now, he knows, after his victory, he knows he can do it. He's come back after the off-season, after the break, he feels stronger. He knows he's got the pace to battle for victories, and I think it's 2015 all over again, where he's desperate now. He's absolutely desperate to get back to the front because he knows he can get there. He's got the 2015 mindset again, where he's just like, crap, I need to do it so fast, and then crashes.
But I'm not talking about this incident just thing. I'm talking about on the whole.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm saying that he's been too desperate, too throttle heavy, and too, I don't know, just desperate to prove to people, I guess. Maybe he's spending too much time reading comments on social media.
That's the nail on the head. Is it a case that he is actually, this year off, has affected him more mentally than we realise because of how much the game's moved on without him?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've seen Fabio come into his own, and Mark has left with Fabio very nicely tucked into his little back pocket. And he's returned to Fabio with everybody on the grid tucked into his pocket. The tides have turned, the roles have turned, and Fabio has turned from a little rookie, a boy, into a man, basically, and is now world championship winning material. Whereas when he was a rookie, he couldn't win a race. Now he wins races for fun.
Yeah, but what I also mean as well is when Mark came back, he jumped onto the 19 chassis straight away. And he just couldn't make the front work. Now that says to me that the tyres are completely different to what he last rode. And his setups are not working, which is why now he's on the new chassis. Suddenly the new chassis works with the newer generation tyres, the new generation style and lines, etc.
It could be why Franco's hating
Yeah,
it.
but that was exactly what I was thinking. Is that because why the 19 Yamaha isn't working? Because it was developed for the older tyres.
Could be, but was there a tyre update on the?
I mean,
recently?
there's always like a small tyre update in every year to year. Like they're never exactly the same. And I'm just wondering if that like change has just made a massive difference to what, especially missing 2020, he never got to feel the step.
Could be, yeah, but again, like he's won a race on these tires, so I'd hope that he.
Yes and no, but it was a funny one when it wasn't the full potential race, if that makes sense. Like there's nothing quite like being on the limit.
No, and I mean, I don't know. I think he's just a bit desperate at the moment. That's not in a bad way. It's in a way of he knows what he can do. We all know what Marc Marquez can do. He's not an 8-time champion for being crap.
I take your point as well. Don't get me wrong. I do completely understand where you're coming from. I'm just offering this perspective of, because I didn't even consider it myself until I visibly saw it with my own eyes. That's like one of the things I was on about.
Yeah.
Like until I saw it happen and realised that everybody, like especially going down the little straight into Vale chicane, Mark was still going very wide and then trying to stand the bike up. Everybody else was going a lot tighter, hanging off the bike. Jorge Martin especially was something else to behold there. But going through that corner, everybody else was a lot tighter and actually carrying a little corner speed. And nobody did that last time I was there. Everybody did the Mark thing of get it, square it, and go. And suddenly that's 2 lines, always going to converge into one, and Mark is still on the other line. It may be completely off the mark, but I saw it and I was just thinking, like, when I was driving home, I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder if that's the reason.
Yeah, I think so. I think you might be onto something there, to be fair. Yeah. But yeah, so moving on to the rest of the race. Obviously, we've already talked about Aleix Espargaro.
Yeah, go Aleix.
And his madness. Yeah, well done, Aleix.
Go on.
Who finished second?
Rins.
Rins. I'm pretty sure that's his first box of the year.
Yes.
99% sure that's his first podium of the year, so well done, Rins.
Can we talk about the other asparagus brother for a minute, though?
Yeah, hold on. I just want to talk about Rins. Let me get that out of the way first. But yeah, like, obviously Rins is bloody struggled this year.
He likes this place, doesn't he?
Really struggled. Obviously crashes. That is his first box of the year. Even last race out in Australia, he was 14th.
Yeah, he likes Silverstone, though. You know, he's duffed Mark up here.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
so, you know, he knows his way around you. He likes the place. I don't want to say it's a flash in the pan, but he needs to back this up now in Aragon. If he doesn't, and he crashes out, if he crashes out of Aragon, then we'll know it was just Rins suddenly finding something and then losing it again, because this year's Rins has been very subpar.
Yeah, it has been. It's not been the greatest, to be fair, but nice to see him finding his feet. But yeah, and Pol Espargaro, oh my god, pole position. Where the hell did that come from?
Pole for Pol. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know where. No one expected that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I was going to say, don't you dare say you expected that.
I thought he would do half about you, but I also thought Honda on the whole would be happier here. So I thought maybe, he could be like 9th or 10th. I did not expect him to do that.
No, like Honda, I've been good with. Alex Marquez doing really well, 7th place.
Yeah, I said, like, Silverstone and Aragon are 2 very Honda-friendly tracks.
Yeah,
they suit what the Honda does really well, while negating some of the worst points. And I thought, maybe 9th, maybe 10th. I thought that would be a fantastic result for Pol if he can, like, snatch a top 8, top 7. To get 5th? Bruh.
Yeah. And another guy who went really under the radar, Brad Binder obviously came from nowhere, did really well. Leclerc did really well, and Danilo Petrucci was 10th.
Yeah, Petrox was with Leclerc the entire race. They were all battling together, and it was good to see. Like, it was genuinely good to see Petrucci have a little upturn.
We love Petrucci. Who doesn't love Petrucci?
We know he's gone. We know he's off to race the Dakar.
Well, he said he's doing Dakar next year, already. Like, it's been confirmed.
So why would we not want to see him go out on a slight high?
Yeah, exactly.
This is a man who's had to bust a bollock to get where he is today. And
really well.
Yeah, like, he's worked a lot harder than most in the paddock. He's come a ridiculously hard route. And for him to match Leclerc most of the race, it was always too orange. And then only towards the end of the race did Leclerc start to pull a gap on him.
He did
that
well.
new chassis is working wonders for every KTM by the look of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the good thing.
Did you see Crutchlow's comments about Marini and Bastianini?
No.
Called them lunatics.
Oh, yeah, he said it was great fun watching
them smash into each other.
Leclerc, like, battling each other in the opening laps of the race.
Yeah, they said he actually called them lunatics, and you guys think, kind of. Yeah. Like, we were watching the day, and my God, he's a nutcase.
Some of the moves he was putting on, I was like, whoa,
the man is a fruit. Like, make no mistake, the man is mental. It was so good to watch.
But in all the good ways, like, that's why he's a world champion,
like, Bastianini is just, I wouldn't fight him.
No, I mean,
especially after seeing this now, I like seeing the moves he was making. I definitely wouldn't fight him. I'd just give him my dinner money. Like,
Yeah. Do feel sorry for Jorge Martin though, because I think he could have had a stellar race. He'd have been on the box, I
I
think.
don't know about podium. I think he was just slightly off the pace. I think he would have been, six. I think he would have been with Mia.
Mia was hit ninth.
Like Mia fell back. I don't think Martin would have.
massively.
Like at one point, Mia was sixth, and I think that's where
I think
Martin would have been.
Mia could have been like maybe sixth, or I still think he could have got the box. To be fair, but
I mean, Miller did it nearly, so
yeah,
why not?
Yeah, Miller looked really
But,
well,
of
really
course,
strong today. He's been so close.
I think Marquez would have got a box had he stayed on as well, though. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I genuinely think Marquez could have got a podium.
It's
but he's too hungry.
Yep, Rossi was, as we said earlier, just very unlucky. It was quite nice, quite fitting in a way, to see Marini pass him in front of my own eyes.
Why?
Because it's his brother. At this point, it's going to be a case. If you think he's not going to be supporting Marini in some way next year, then you're a fruit.
Oh yeah.
So it was quite nice.
Well, he's handing over the
pass the
baton,
torch, and we saw it with our own eyes, and it was quite nice to see in a way.
Must be weird for Marini. I'm just about to overtake Valentino Rossi.
Speaking of Marini, he's on the GP19. One thing I could not get over was the difference in sound of the two bikes. Like the 21 compared to the 19 does genuinely sound like an entirely different machine. I could not get over the amount of and when you see them in the flesh, the amount of development they've had compared to the 19. Ducati have just been doing massive bits.
They have.
They
massively.
deserve all the applause to be able to push these limits. The bottom aero on the 21 is mental, and then you see the 19 come past, and it genuinely looks like a basic bike. Despite the fact it has wings, it just looks like a poor relation almost.
Yeah, it's not great, but obviously it'll be on 2021 bike next year, or maybe 22.
There'll be no
I can't remember
19s,
which one it is.
There'll be a 21 and 22s next year.
Yeah, so it'll be on 22 next year, so we'll see him at the front. He's a very good rider at the end of the day, so... Yes, but I think that's all we've got time for now, because we're all very tired still from
I am
Silverstone,
fucked.
and I need to edit this, and Jacob needs to go to bed, so...
Yeah, but we're going away, because obviously it's bank holiday day. I've done over 1,000 miles this weekend. And for someone who works from home normally, it feels like I've just been shot. I am fucked.
Works. Like you do any work.
I do some work.
You don't.
Yeah.
I see all those video games you play.
Yeah, I do some work. I just play it on my dinner, because, I can.
Yes, not bitter. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. We're back next weekend, and I don't know.
We'll be longer.
Got World Tour Bikes next weekend. Wait, we got Motor America next weekend. Sean Della Kelly could be crowned the champion for the Super Sport.
Yes, that's okay. Come on, Mesa.
Yes, boy. Good luck, Sean. Hopefully next time we are
Do you know
talking
what?
about you being crowned the champion.
Before we do go off, one thing that was making me piss myself is Suzuki is sponsoring Motor America next year, yeah? Do you reckon now they'll finally get rid of the 636 and make Kawasaki go back to a 600?
Oh, that would be quite funny. That would be good. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast, and we'll be back next week.
Thanks, guys.